Ms. Pittman? Hello? Ms. Pittman?
Hello?
Hi, Ms. Pittman?
Can you hear me?
Rebecca Pittman, please.
Hello?
Hi, Rebecca Pittman, please.
Yes.
Hi, Ms. Pittman. This is Holly Royce, the hearing master in family court. We're calling for the hearing on the protective order.
Uh-huh.
I can barely hear you. Are you on a Bluetooth or?
I'm driving at the moment.
Okay, is there any way we can? I can call a different case. I can have you pull over so that we can hear you better.
Okay, hold on. Is that better?
That is better. You're not driving anymore. Is that correct?
Yes, I pulled over.
Okay. All right. Excellent. We are on the record, T21-214-200T, the matter of Rebecca Pittman versus Shane Sipe. This is the time set for the court to consider the request to extend the protective order. We have the applicant appearing telephonically today. We have the adverse party appearing by audio-visual means from Clark County Detention Center. Ms. Pittman, are you still requesting an extension of the protective order?
Yes.
All right. So it looks like, Mr. Sipe, it looks like you received everything from CCDC, the application, the order, and the motion to modify the order that was issued on, let's see. This was the one that was issued on May 24th. Is that correct, sir?
That is not correct. All I received was the final order. I did not receive the application to amend. I didn't receive the original complaint, and I did not receive the original restraining order. But I'm prepared to proceed.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me just...
I've been advised what the contents are. That's sufficient for me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Let me ask this, Ms. Pittman. How long of an extension are you requesting?
At least 30 days. 30 to 60 days at least. I mean, I'm trying to move. I'm in the process of moving right now.
Okay. So are you back in the? Are you in the residence that the two of you lived in together?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Sipe, I know you've got a calendar call and trial that's already scheduled. It looked like, I think, in August, beginning of August. Sir, you have the right to make a statement about the contents of the application. I know I talked to you guys before, right? And there was no extension sought at that time. There were some additional allegations made regarding her being coerced into moving out of the home, and then you moved back in the home. Nonetheless, let me ask you, are you opposed to the court extending the protective order for a period of 60 days?
I would request that the court extend the order, provided they remove the address of my home from it. That is my home. That is my residence. She moved out voluntarily. When things did not go well for her at her new residence, she decided that she was going to force herself back in, which she did.
No, that's not true.
Pittman, please. I'm sorry, hold on. I couldn't hear like the last sentence and a half that you said, Mr. Sipe. So, Ms. Pittman, I promise I'm going to come back to you, but it's his turn to speak right now, okay? Okay, so please don't talk over him. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
The original injuries that she alleged I inflicted on her were in fact caused by a car wreck she got in 3 days prior. She retained an attorney that evening, and she started seeing doctors multiple times a week. This is all documented. It's all provable. Please question her about this. She got in an auto accident 3 days before February 1st, when she claimed I inflicted those injuries on her, which I did not do, they charged me with 5 counts of domestic battery for one alleged incident, which is improper. They never conferred with me. They never got my side of it. They don't know that I wasn't even beat up worse and defending myself. This is all improper. She alleges that I wrote a letter and we coerced that she would move out temporarily. I respectfully request that the court demand to see this letter. This letter does not exist. If it does exist, I did not write it. She moved out voluntarily. She retained the storage unit that is in the restraining order. She put all of her stuff in that storage unit along with all of my stuff. She forged my signature on my car title, and she sold my car, which is auto theft. She moved out voluntarily. She cannot just force herself back in. She does not have property to be in my residence. That is my property. She does not have permission to be there. I'm guilty. My attorney has arranged for me to do a deal. I'm going to be out of here in a week. As a courtesy to her, I'm informing her officially now she has 1 week to get out of my property. She will be removed in 1 week.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so lots of complicated things going on here. For the record, your address is not your home address is not a prohibited address on the current protective order. She filed a motion. Hold on, let me just. I'm sorry, I can't hear you when I'm talking.
I apologize.
So, I did not put. So there was the original protective order, right? That was issued. The three of us talked a couple months ago. She dropped the request for the extension at that time, and so that protective order was no longer in existence. The one that included your home address as a prohibited address. When she reapplied in May, the court did not include your home address as a prohibited address because based on her application, she indicated that she had moved out of the residence. I also have not seen the letter, and it wasn't until she filed a motion to modify that the court realized that she was asking essentially to be permitted to re-inhabit your residence, which I don't believe is appropriate under the circumstances because that home belongs to you. Is that correct, Mr. Stipe?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I don't. My concern is that this is my concern, Ms. Pittman, and I tried to talk to you about it the other day. I know that you were upset with me and you hung up. That if I accept everything that you say is true, right, then I have to believe that there was this concoction of this situation where you told the court you were going to move out so that he could get out and be returned to his house. And I don't think that's an appropriate, you can't be dishonest with one court or make misrepresentations to one court and then come back to me and say, oh, I want to go back in.
Yeah, I understand.
So I don't really have a basis to modify the protective order to make his residence a prohibited address. You indicated in your application that you moved out of the residence. And so I can't now say that it's okay for you to move back in. I'm not that kind of court.
Okay. So we moved in the house together. I never moved out of the residence. I took nothing with me when I left. Absolutely nothing. I stayed in my car for the week that he was out, but he moved his ex-girlfriend in the house when he got out.
You asked that he be prohibited from your storage unit. So what's the storage unit got in it?
What do you mean? The storage unit had nothing in it. It was stuff that our belongings, mine and his. His are back at the house. I have nothing of his.
Okay.
Where's my car?
But he's not allowed at the storage unit because he's violent.
Okay.
And I don't want him around me.
Okay, so that's your storage unit?
Yes, it's my storage unit.
Okay. All right.
Because every time he gets mad at me and wants to throw me out and tell me to get out and intimidate me not to come back in the house because I know he's going to hit me, then I have somewhere to go and he can't keep my shit.
Yeah. So, yeah. Again, it's unfortunate the way it worked out. You made representations to the court that that you had moved out of his residence in order for him to be released, and
Yeah, I left the resident.
Well, I know, ma'am, but you don't have any legal interest in the residence, right? It's not like you're a leaseholder. You're not on the.
No, I just moved in there within 2.5 years ago.
I understand. Okay. Anyway, nonetheless, Mr. Sipe is not opposed to the court extending the protective order for 60 days. You have to understand, though, ma'am, that you're not permitted to by virtue of this order, you're not permitted to be living in his residence. That's not something.
I'm in the process of moving out.
Don't talk over me. Please don't talk over me. I don't have the legal authority to allow
I am
you to do that.
parked on the side of the road, and I have to get moving before I get pulled over, or someone pulls in behind me. Now, I need to know, do I need to move or not? Because that's what I'm trying to do now.
So, I don't know what you're asking me.
I'm asking you, you're sitting here telling me I'm not permitted at the residence.
No, I said
I'm not for 2.5 years.
I said I'm not permitted to allow you to re-inhabit the residence. I don't have that authority, right? You told me you weren't living there when you applied for this protective order.
No, I had left there. I sure did, to get him home, which was a big mistake.
Okay. So the court will extend the protective order to August 30th, 2021. It'll expire at 11:59 p.m. that night. From now until then, Mr. Sipe, you're prohibited from having any contact with Ms. Pittman. That's phone, text, email, social media. You're prohibited from threatening or harassing Ms. Pittman personally or through a third party. And you're prohibited from going within 100 yards of her, her confidential residence address, her mini storage at, where is it located? 2550?
It's on Chandler Avenue.
Okay. On what avenue?
Chandler.
Okay.
Yes.
And, okay. Are there any other addresses, Ms. Pittman, that you want included in the order?
I just want him to stay away from me because I'm scared of him.
Okay.
He sent people to the house and everything else. He sent people to harass me and try to kick me out of the house and change the locks. I've had people follow me. It's ridiculous.
Okay. My suggestion is that you move out of his home. I don't know.
Like I said, I'm in the process, but man, that's all I know. That's all I know here.
I understand.
And he knows that's all I have here was him. I'm trying to do this on my own and get out of his house, but it's taken time because I didn't have a vehicle there with him. He had control of everything.
Okay.
I'm trying to do it by myself now.
A violation of this order, Mr. Sipe, could result in your immediate arrest, or it could result in this court imposing jail time if you're found in contempt, and it could result in criminal charges. The motion to modify the protective order to include Mr. Mr. Sipes' home address, is it 7240 Dingo Court?
Yes, ma'am.
That motion is denied. The court will prepare an order. Mr. Sipe, we will send it over to you at CCDC. Ms. Pittman, we will email you a copy.
Okay, so can I get notified when you get that?
Mr. Sipe, are there any questions, sir?
Yes, with the court's indulgence, please. When the officer showed up to serve me that protective order, it clearly indicated that address. That address was where I was on house arrest, and it was on that basis that they revoked my house arrest and put me back in here. So can you please double check that it does not in fact include my address? The officers that came to serve me with that protective order indicated that it did, and I was not allowed in that residence anymore. They pulled me out my front door, wouldn't let me get my glasses, wouldn't let me get my wallet, and they brought me back in here.
So the protective order, sir, and we can forward you a copy of the protective order if you're saying you didn't get it. It lists her home address as confidential, and it says that she has the right to take police over there to pick up her belongings from your address at 7240 Dingo. I mean, I'm looking at the order.
Okay, then they misinterpreted it.
I'm
When
sorry?
they showed up, then they misinterpreted it. I was on house arrest. I paid my bail. I was on house
I know what
arrest.
happened. I saw what happened. I read the probable cause report, or the. Stop interrupting.
I have to get off the side of the road. I have to go.
So I can't speak for them, Mr. Sipe, in terms of how they interpreted the order, but we'll send you. I mean, we can get you a copy over there of the original TPO, but the original TPO absolutely does not prohibit you from your residence. I can assure you that.
I've never been brought back in here then.
I'm sorry?
You had a weapon, and that's why you were brought back in.
To stay on house arrest in my house.
Why did you get removed from your home? Because my understanding is that they found a machete on your dining room table and that you weren't permitted to have any weapons.
They did not find a machete on my dining room table. They found a machete in my garage next to the shovel and the hoe and the other tools that are used to maintain the trees on the property. Apparently it was so much paperwork with the restraining order that they just looked for the first thing they could to revoke me. And that was a machete in my garage.
I have nothing to do with your conditions of release. I have nothing to do with your bail conditions. I absolutely did not prohibit you from your home address because at the time she filed the application, you were still living there and she was not living there. I absolutely did not prohibit you from your residence. I can assure you of that.
Okay,
so if they got it wrong,
I just requested that you double check, and which you've done. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll make it clear that it is not a prohibited address in this order.
Could you highlight that? Maybe put it in there twice? Because they appear to think that it was.
I can't hear you when I'm talking, though. So you have to start over what you just said.
Could you please make a specific note that that is not a prohibited address? They appear to be under the...
I just said I was going to do that. Going to put it in the order. I'm going to allow her a civil standby, though, to bring police if she has anything that's left at the house once you move back in.
Is there any way that I could get this restraining order mutual?
No, sir. If you feel like you need a protective order, you would have to apply separately through a different process.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We're going to conclude the hearing and close the case. Thank you both. All right. Bye-bye.